Good afternoon, comic book fans. Welcome back to Comics in 5 Minutes. I'm your ever-loving Shorty, and as promised, 2 reviews for the price of 1, free, because they're all free. And it's another Joker one. See? Get Joker. But it's actually the Suicide Squad. And there's a lot I've got to say about the Suicide Squad. But before we're going to get that out, let's talk about Alex and Lee and their wonderful artwork, because they are brilliant. They have an absolute amazing knack for putting like a POV into a comic book, which feels like you're part of a conversation. He can do a real interesting artwork for fight scenes. The action is brilliant, and the way of grabbing facial expressions to show real meaning and emotion is phenomenal. Like, if Alex and Lee wasn't on board with this, I probably wouldn't have cared at all, because Azzarello can be a brilliant writer. And you can probably tell from my tone of voice right now that this isn't going to be one of those stories. I personally think that Hellblazer run was brilliant. They put John Constantine in a Supermax and then did him Walking Through America and managed to nail the contemporary white supremacist viewpoint before it was contemporary. Clearly, Azzarello has got a knack for writing stuff. And throughout this comic book, there are glimpses of that. There are moments where he looks like he's about to grab hold of something and give you a really good look at what is actually going on. He's going to highlight something, and he's going to basically use his voice to try and convince you that something needs to be done about something. But he so very rarely goes subsurface level that it's actually more disappointing because it looks like he's trying. One of the more famous examples from this particular one, even though it only came out technically yesterday, I suppose, is Pitbull, I think is the character's name. Mad Dog, maybe, I can't remember off the top of my head, who was one of the insurrectionists, the Capitol insurrectionists on January the 6th. And you have this wonderful opportunity to kind of showcase white rage and give it like a viewpoint where people can criticize it, including the fact that there is a POC superpowered person on the helicopter when he's having this conversation, and there's people clearly more educated than this guy. And all it really does is, again, just absolutely surface level. This is white rage, and here's some people who are not a fan of white rage, and there's nothing else to it. He takes an entire panel, like one single frame, to talk about how police like to act above the law. Never comes up again. There's a moment where you think you might be getting to some problem with the penal system, but it turns out that's just a plot device to get Red Hood into the Suicide Squad. And here we get into the Suicide Squad thing. Suicide Squad, for people who don't know, is effectively a bunch of criminals, superpowered or not, who get implanted with a device, a bomb, in the back of their head, which Amanda Waller can detonate and wipe every trace of DNA off the planet. Pretty cool, huh? It's a nice idea. I can see why it get used to make a Hollywood movie or two. Probably just the one would be okay, though. The second one, after they tried and failed in the first attempt. But in terms of comic books, it feels, because it's been done a few times, I'm kind of more just watching it for the gag of like, well, who are they going to kill? Because it's the Suicide Squad. Somebody is going to die. And it's cool that they killed somebody that I thought they wouldn't do. There seemed to be a couple more obvious choices, and well done Brian Azzarello for not taking the easy way out on that one. But other than that, it feels like it's a really kind of flimsy thing to hang a plot on. Again, great for 2 hours of action movie, but anything like an ongoing where you've got quite a few distinct characters who want to have some time to develop themselves, weirdly, Toyman, he's the only one I actually really got on with as a character. He seemed interesting. He had motivations. He had personality. He actually cared about certain things and expressed them in interesting ways, rather than just kind of, again, surface level nothingness to what everyone else had. There's also a brief moment of Harley Quinn being quite cool. Kind of pop psychology, like again, nothing really below the surface. But in the world where Amanda Waller is like the most powerful person in any room, even when hanging out with meta superheroes, just with a few choice words, being able to level the playing field, kind of showed that Harley Quinn is capable of doing this kind of thing. And yes, I'm not going to say it's overlooked, like a lot of writers make sure they pay homage to a career as a psychiatrist, but this was a particularly nice version of doing it. And the story carried on, and there's a couple of twists and a couple of turns, nothing really out of the ordinary. Harley Quinn then, not Harley Quinn, Azzarello then undoes the good work he did with Harley Quinn by having her literally shoot a kidnapped torture victim in the face at point blank range because she's mildly put out. And then there's a Clockwork Orange thing at the end. which, you know, if you want to talk surface level Joker references, I mean, I don't really have to go into much more detail on that, surely. Frustrating comic book for all that it tries to do cool things, for all that it clearly has an intent that it could have done these good things, and it could have been Azzarello writing in a way that grabbed my attention again. It ended up being a surface level, very rarely thought out series of events leading to fight scenes. And unfortunately, I kind of wanted a little bit more than that, even though it did look very, very good indeed. That's it for me today. I'll be back tomorrow. I'm probably going to do one a day for the rest of the week. We'll see how it goes. Until then, look after each other, everyone. Stay safe. Bye.